Hey guys, it's Style here. Today I'm going to show you how I put my Zen garden and bathhouse together. I have always admired the beauty of Zen gardens. And if you haven't heard of a Zen garden before, they are dry landscapes made of sand or gravel, stones, moss, bushes, and prune trees. Zen gardens are renowned for their simplicity and serenity, and they were designed to imitate the essence of nature. The moss-covered rocks and stones represent mountains, and the patterns in the raked sand represent ripples or flowing water. And I think it's just so beautiful and poetic. I must have one in my room. So I'm totally gonna base this room off a Zen garden and bathhouse. So to start off, let's buy a room slot and layout. Now, just so you know, the first 2 rooms you have are free. The third room costs 200 diamonds. The fourth costs 400, the fifth 600, the sixth 800, and the seventh costs 1,000 diamonds. Every room after that will also cost 1,000 diamonds. I want to try out this new layout I haven't bought yet. I think it's perfect because it's big and I have more creative freedom with the walls. So let's go ahead and name the room. I'm gonna choose the name Tranquil because it means calm, peaceful, and that's exactly what my room is about. So the first thing I want to do is test out the biggest items and place them around the room. One important thing to note is that you should always start with your biggest items because you want to build around them, and you also need enough space in your room to move and rotate them. I like to play around with the placement and color schemes early on, and eventually I will build up my room in sections. So at this stage, I am mostly testing things out and seeing if I like where I'm placing the items. Kind of getting a feel for them and seeing, where do I want the luxe pavilion? I want the main big items to be the centerpieces of my room. So it's really important to find the right spot for them before adding all the little things around it. During my room designing process, I like to test out the colors as I go. So I will be constantly changing the color combinations of some of the items, and that will help me decide on which color scheme I am feeling the most. Towards the end of my design process, I do fix things up a little and then I make sure that everything works well together. When you're designing, remember to think about your room from different camera perspectives. While you put your room together, it's a good habit to always be rotating your camera to see how it looks from another angle. It might look perfect from the front, but on the side it could be uneven or not aligned well with everything else. This has to be one of the trickiest things to do when editing a room. It can be tricky to get all of your chairs and windows and couches aligned, but if you have the patience for it, I can promise you it will be worth it in the end. I am quite the perfectionist, so I do care about these little things and I try to align everything as best as I can while still keeping my sanity. Another reason why I like to make sure everything looks really good to me is because I like to think of each space as a photograph backdrop. Would I want to stand here and take a photo? How does it look? Every little section has to be aesthetically pleasing to me or else I will can it. You guys, remember to save often. Always remember to save your work every time you finish a section that you liked because you've put it together and you want to make sure that that's the latest update of your room. And that goes with anything computer related. You want to save your work often so you don't lose the progress for any reason. One decorating tip I have to give you is to utilize the paint bucket tool. It will make your decorating so much faster if you already know what you want. Simply select the item with the color combo that you want to replicate, tap on the paintbrush to see the colors, and then hold your finger on the paint bucket and drag it across to the item that you want. But be careful where you release the paint. You don't want to accidentally paint the wrong thing. This tool is a time saver. I love this tool and it really helps putting things together and making everything seem really cohesive in a room in very little time. Putting rooms together requires a high attention to detail. You want to be able to interact with absolutely every spot of furniture. I loved what I came up with, but when I paused my decorating for a second and tested out all the spots, I realized that I needed space to run around the whole luxe pavilion so that I could sit in every spot. And there are like 8 spots. So I had to move the big items around to make space. You may have also noticed that I've decided to move my bed space, and that's because I wanted this room to be garden and bathhouse focused. So I will be creating a cute little room just for the cozy bed and lounge furniture, and that's totally okay with me. I wanted to make space for the other items that I have, so I chose to get rid of one koi pond to add the Torah gates at the entrance, some stepping stones, a sitting area, some rocks to sit on to make it a really interactive kind of garden. And I wanted to center the luxe pavilion with the koi pond. This means that I had to remove my tatami chairs and low table to make room. And I loved it, so I'm gonna probably move that to one of my smaller rooms and make that a really nice home space. Now that I have everything I want in place, it's time to fill up those little empty spaces. I like to find whatever I can fit without making it too busy and confined. For this room in particular, I want it to be mostly spacious but not bare. My favorite little items to use to fill up space are obviously plants, right? I'm like plant obsessed. Plants can be very expensive for me because I buy so many for each room, but I have no regrets. I've actually been rifting like crazy because I really need to save money for my rooms. That's just me, like every week I'm just like, oh my gosh, give me those coins, I need plants. This room is finally looking put together and I'm happy with it. Now it's time to add the finishing touches, shuffle a few things around, and fix up any colors that I don't think match. I'll keep making minor adjustments to things until I feel absolutely satisfied and don't feel like touching it anymore. I have to say that the rose petals from the Valentine's room item release in mobile is one of my most favorite items. It's really cute and it works well in garden-themed rooms or romantic sections of rooms. I think it adds texture and color and it keeps those empty spaces from looking too bare. I can't stand empty spaces and you'll see me filling it up with plants or, a bunch of random food items if I can get away with it. Adding the plants to a room is one of my favorite parts of the room designing process. I think a bit of green can make a room really pop, especially in a garden or home setting, and personally, I can't ever have enough plants. I'm literally always on my toes, waiting for the next plant in each collection. Isn't that such a weird thing to admit? For this little bathhouse section, I wanted to create a brick-looking wall using my beloved neoplastic wall painting, one of the coolest items. And I wanted this to feel like an onsen, which is a hot spring that is typically communal, and therefore I have a couple of sinks and mirrors to kind of replicate the traditional bathing space as best as I could, while still keeping this room unique to me. Now remember what I said about making every space looking good and photographable? I want to make every corner a space where I could sit and take a photo and I wouldn't complain about it. So I have used the Zen room divider to add a soft background behind this meditation spot. Now I'm just adding the final touches. I am matching up the browns, matching up anything that I feel needs to be matched up, kind of readjusting the plants, seeing what empty spaces that need filling. So I love the table plants. I think that they're so cute on the ground as well. You may notice that I use them a lot in my rooms to kind of fill up these spaces. Don't forget to utilize all the space that you've been given. So I love this little table inside the pavilion, and I think that a tea set looks really good in there. So I would want to use that. And save, everybody, save your work. Let's have a look around. I am so happy with how everything has turned out. This is kind of a far cry from the first, when I first started making this room. And it just shows that patience can come a long way. You should always test out every item and just kind of see where you want everything first. I've made probably 3 or 4 big changes in this room and I have no regrets. I'm very happy with it. I love this collection so much. I love Japan and I love everything Japanese, and I think that this collection is a beautiful representation of many of the items, traditional and new. And I'm so happy that I've created this space where I can revisit Japan over and over again, or at least my dream reality. Literally my dream in general. Thank you to Hotel Hideaway for creating yet another stunning collection for the Carpenter of Chance. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with next. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really happy with this collection. I think that it's beautiful. It really is peaceful. I feel really relaxed just watching my avatar having the time of her life in that hot tub. And I can't wait to show you what other things that I create with these items. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found some of my tips helpful and I hope this inspired you in some way. I'd love to know what you think about this video and my room, so pop a comment and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. For those of you who've just met me, hello! I have an Instagram account where I post my outfits, more rooms, and sometimes I even sing on my stories and just post like random half selfies or whatever you call them. And if you've been following me for a while, thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate your kind messages and you really make my hotel experience even more enjoyable. So thank you. I don't even want to find my lost luggage. I think I found something way better, and that's all of you amazing people. Thank you again and have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Much love. I will see you next time.